So if you guys have been watching the channel for any amount of time, you know we got a ton of projects around here. I mean, you see them all behind me, right? So in this episode of Pugliese Speed Shop, we ain't working on none of them. Nah. We're going to take a much needed vacation, head over to the left coast for a little while, and you guys are going to dig it. So, when I say we're going on vacation, I ain't talking about your regular vacation. Not really the kind of guy that likes to, go to these amusement parks or sit on the beach or lay by the pool or none of that stuff. Not my thing at all. What I like to do is go out and do things that I'd normally do, but maybe in a different location. Guys, there's times I'll take vacation and just work in the shop and love it. A lot of people consider it work. It ain't work if you love what you do, right? So this vacation isn't all that much different. Just somebody else's shop, right? I don't know if you guys know this, but Gene Winfield, and if you don't know who Gene Winfield is, well, I can't help you. You need to go check him out. Go Google him, whatever. He's all over the place. The guy's a legend, all right? He owns a metalworking shop, and he's been doing it since like the late 90s, and tons of like real famous people have taken his class. I don't even want to start naming them because the list is just too long and I don't want to leave anybody out, right? So just research it for yourself, all right? Now, I'm lucky enough that Megan and the kid, for my birthday, went and bought me this class, got me in the class. You see what I'm saying, right? So, even though I used to live like less than an hour away from his place, I was never able to make it in the class. It just never meshed up, it's just life got in the way. So now that I'm retired from the Navy and I got a little more time for these kind of things, that's what we do. Before I knew what was happening, Megan had airfare taken care of, hotel, rental car, and boom, I'm on my way. So, that's what we're doing, guys. We're heading out to Mojave, California, and we're going to learn from the best, the master, the legend, whatever. That's what's going to happen. So, you got to know, my welding is not the best. My fabrication skills are, mediocre at best. I got a lot to learn, so there's no way I ain't coming out of this thing 110% better than I am now. When you start from the bottom, you got nowhere else to go but up, So I'm gonna stop rambling. We're gonna head out there, and I don't know what we're gonna do for recording. We'll figure it out as we go along. But no matter what I manage to capture, you're gonna love it. Well, it's a little noisy, but it ain't gonna get no better. So we're in the shop all day, learning how to gas weld and hammer weld, and it was awesome. And then we came out when we were done. They got a car show going on, so I figured I'd walk you guys around. There's not a whole lot of things I miss about California, but this weather and the car culture, yeah, I miss that. And yeah, there ain't no rust on none of these cars either. That's a big difference. Got a band playing, taco truck, a bar. Gene knows how to put it down, man. Speaking of putting it down, there's a Volvo. Not a bad place to hang out all day. Of course, I gotta look at the projects, right? What we cram into a Pinto over here? Pretty dope. The speed shop like that. You know, I gotta look at the OBS. Dually. Check it out. Oh, you can see it there. Winston Drag Team. The dude's working with Gene all day. They're gonna actually redo that lettering. Oh, we got him back here. Hopefully you guys can hear me. If not, I'm sure the kid will put some cool music. Somebody's used their camping here. That's sweet. Halloween. Black with a red interior. Deep black with a red interior. Man, my father would love that. A Sonata with a hitch on it. You got that. Movie car. I think that's from like Demolition Man or something. I remember hearing about it before. The short box was, I don't remember good at these. 60, 72, 71? I don't know. It's pretty dope. So I kind of forgot about Russ when I lived out here for like 14 years. And I'm reintroduced now in Maryland, but 57 up there. I don't even know if that's a real car or not, but little Ranchero. I'll walk in the back, see what's got back there. So no way it'd be a proper tour of Winfield Shop or episode of Pugliese Speed Shop, which I can't believe I said that in the same sentence. But I'll show you what's all back here. Rust Free California man. Look at that. What's a 57 hood, 57 fender. I'm not a Tri-5 guy. You can customize anything. Put a hitch, a big old shifter on this guy. That's how you know it's Gene's. This is why I can't have any more property than I already have, because this is what my place would look like. This, I saw the coolest Ram truck over here before I gotta show you guys this. We found the Pinto section. AMX. Of course, next to a Chop Top Mercury, because you're at Winfield Shop. There's about 1,000 of them. Guys, look at this. Forget about it, huh? This ain't like drag race history. Made into an extended cab. Oh man, this thing is cool. Just cool.
Power hammer.
Well, that's like
Any questions?
your beige truck. Your beige car hauler.
Yeah.
Okay, so that you extended the cab and you chopped it.
Right.
And you had to widen that roof also, I think.
Right. I extended it, made it like a cab in half, or I mean, you know, extended cab. That one's out in back, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, that truck's still out in back. Anyway, but do what you gotta do, but you try to figure it out ahead of time by looking at it, measuring it, and maybe even make a cardboard pattern sometime. So we cut the cardboard pattern and move that, then you get an idea of what's happening. Okay?
This back here too, yeah.
That's whole body fiberglass.
Yeah.
What the hell?
Wouldn't expect to see that over here, huh? That's probably why it's in the back.
The whole thing's fiberglass.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
This is wild.
This channel. This would be a cool car done, man.
Yeah, it would.
That's what I have right here, 49 Merc.
Is that right?
Yeah.
You're a lucky man.
Pontiac Fiero.
Yeah. Kind of wonder how the Fiero got back here.
Hey, you make great kit cars out of them.
Oh yeah, you can build anything out of them.
Make a Lambo out of it.
Yep.
Cheapest Lambo ever.
Go walk around here all day, guys. Forget about it, right? We got here. How's that logo? This is why I like the desert. It's weird. I shouldn't like the desert, but I do. Because of this. You know? That's my whip for the week. It's not cool, guys. I promise you. A bus. Cadillac, Jaguar, this old Martinville Lincoln Continental, Lincoln, look at an Edsel. This place goes forever. Is that old Jag? I think so. So many like, half-finished projects up there. I mean, I guess he's completed enough. You know, we'll give him a pass, right? Man, where was I? 64. Look at that cab, dude. Oh my god. Falcon, got a Corvair. You know I gotta look at this. Two knob radio. Yes. It's pretty solid. truck never got solid in Maryland. This is square body chopped. He chop anything. I might piss somebody off with this comment, but this is a perfect example. It's just because you can doesn't mean you should. It's got 80s all over it, but the louvers look cool. Maybe not, maybe 90s. We made bad decisions back then, guys. It happens. These are cool cars. We got a ton. There's more Fieros back here, guys. Another Mercury over there. There's a Mercury in the desert. I'll tell you what, Gene knows where it's at. I tell my brother that Fieros are cool. He don't believe me. Gene Winfield's own one. It's cool. Cadillac flat top. These guys were just talking about flipping these around so it's like scoops, put them towards the front. Little stuff like that, you gotta love it. DeSoto. And I've been to this shop probably 15, 20 times at least. Never walked this whole backyard before. I should have. A lot of cool stuff back here, man. '57 two-door back there. Look at that. The AMC Eagle. Some bugs sitting in the pan. Don't gotta worry about them rusting, so who cares? My boy Johnny. This little car brings back some memories, huh, buddy? It's amazing everything that's back here. Kind of like rust-free 66 Mustang. Alright, I'm gonna shut this down for a minute. And probably for a long time actually. Because it's time to go drink up beers, eat a taco, and relax. Alright guys, start to day 2 of the Winfield's metal shop. Obviously we're not there yet. Outside the hotel and getting ready to go. But looking forward to it. Yesterday we did hammer welding, shaping metal, and well, gas welding. And today we're supposed to do lead, finish some patches, and all sorts of other stuff. Don't know how much I'll get to show you guys, if anything. But that's what we're working on, and we'll give you a walk around afterwards or something.
So the way Gene figures it out, let's say that I'm going to draw this. So let's make the think that's 3 inches. But if you were to measure this sideways, straight up, it's probably two, see how it's shorter, 2.5 inches. So that's where we would take it out of there. Door tops will usually get rid of them, get them out of the way. Figure out, now there's two things that, like a lot of times guys will do slanted pillar because it's easier, but it makes more work in the corners area. If you're gonna go with a straight post, this roof, this piece would have to be cut out and moved back. And then typically here, what we would do is get rid of this corner and then take this section out of here through the brace. Cut the window usually all the way out. On the shoebox, you will cut all the way around and usually leave a section maybe about 1 inch so you can just lay it down. Or sometimes you'll move them forward depending on. But
The pallet's nice because you can see all the stuff that's on the outside.
yeah, we're just going over this because those are two different types of chops. It's a little easier to explain this with a car that ain't chopped because you can see the difference of the two, but we don't have two examples. Is there any questions on this type of a car? Most of the time, like this sail panel area usually ends up being made, you know, the whole sail panel area. If you look in there, you can actually see the metal that was shaped and made. You can see, look in there and see the sail panel.
Oh, yeah.
You always want to brace this back window so it don't move around, or keep the glass in and duct tape it.
Do you put any more bracing in the roof when you're done?
No, you don't need to do that. You need it to move. You can open the door and see how the back window's all braced. You don't want it to be moving around. But this glass is actually sank. We ended up having to modify the wheel wells because the glass wouldn't fit back in.
That's what he was talking about earlier about sinking.
Yeah.
So you can use the factory,
Plus
you
the
can use the
body's been,
factory glass.
the body's been dropped.
Well, you don't have any choice with this car because you can't cut
It's
it.
curved.
Yeah.
The windshield, you're always gonna cut. Now, you can have glass made if you make a pattern, but it's very expensive, $3,000 to $5,000 to have a piece of glass made. I would hope so. I was at the class that we chopped it first and then sectioned it. I think we sectioned it 2 or 3 inches, I don't remember. Well, we ain't got to that.
For now.
So whether we're gonna keep them or not, we didn't have to, they weren't in the way of anything, so that's why they're still on there. And this car, Gene wanted to do this car because he did one in the 60s, he sectioned one.
Well, the quarter on this one is different than the quarter because that's a stock quarter.
I'm not sure, but there's some of the work they did different because maybe different guys did it
Afterwards? Yeah, because I was noticing that. Well, that one has that little up because they replaced this section and made it flat. You know, if you look over on this side, actually the quarter on this side, it's got the original.
Well, the other
Where
side
that side
is
does
flat.
not have this.
Oh.
It's flat.
It's probably, there was probably
Yeah, see it
rot,
right here?
or maybe Gene wanted to get rid of that.
Yeah, because it's flat.
So that's,
Oh, I see.
that could be why that's done over there, is he wanted to get rid of that.
Yeah. Yeah, you gotta walk it.
So if you can't find something here, well, it's probably because it's buried. But you just ain't looking hard enough because it's got everything. So this guy dropped this off yesterday, I think he said. 351 block, I think. And you got like a Volvo motor over here. Small blocks for days. LS. Start, you got, I mean, yeah. I'll just shut up and you can drink it in. You just learned how to shrink some metal. Came out here, just pulled the fender off the side, beat it up, put it back where it's supposed to go. I don't know if I'm as confident as these guys are. Actually, I know I'm not as confident as these guys are. And there's a good reason for that. Every bumper you could ever think of. Just stumble on a couple more shop top Mercuries. Just amazing. I can't imagine how long it takes to accumulate all this solid metal. That's the best part about being out here. Solid metal. So that's a baseball bat cut down, made into a shaping hammer. Gene's made more cool tools than anything else, I'll tell you. Went over all this stuff. Of course, I don't know how to use any of it. Just enough to be dangerous now. There's this little stands you make. There's a panel we destroyed. We put that together and then all welded on it to a warped. But we know how to gas weld now.
Yeah, these four are like used once, or they're also for.
Learned how to use some of this stuff today. Apparently, I got the hang of the pull max pretty quick too. English wheel kind of kicked my ass a little bit. We figured it out. So I was kind of figured out that guy a little bit too. I guess I should never complain about my place being a mess. Here we go, guys. I'm going to try and summarize this, and we'll see if I nail it or not. I've been back from the class for a couple days now. I've been telling this story to anybody to listen. Megan and the kid are tired of hearing of it. The guys at work, the guys at the VFW, anybody able to listen. I can't stop talking about how amazing this entire class, everything that happened was just awesome. You know what I'm saying? I didn't record nearly as much as I thought. I wanted to do some shorts building up to this. I wanted to do, all that kind of thing. I wanted to record more, I think. But I didn't. That's all there is to it. As I was there, I was too just engulfed with picking up as much knowledge from these guys as I could that afterwards, I'd get back to the room. I'd be like, "Oh man, I wanted to record more, and I didn't." And it just, I am mad about it. You know what I'm saying? I mean, because it was an amazing experience, and yeah. So I'm gonna try and get my thoughts all together. I've been trying for a couple of days. I think the only way I could do it is just start talking to the camera, and hopefully it makes sense. You guys saw I didn't do I didn't do any recording of work being done and instruction and that kind of stuff. I didn't feel like it was ethical because none of it is like my instructional, which you guys wouldn't want. But that just didn't seem right. You know what I'm saying? If you guys want to learn this stuff, take the class because amazing. It wasn't just Gene, which was awesome too. It was all guys that have taken this class. You know, we had Alex from Gambino Customs was there. Dave, I don't remember what shop he owned, but he owned a shop as well. They were both there doing. I mean, it was Jimmy and those guys that work with Gene. It was all of them, and it was amazing. And there's no way I could do justice if I tried recording it. And if I did it, like I said, it wouldn't be my work. So it didn't seem like the right thing to do. But we're going to talk about some things. All right. So day one, I didn't record anything till after the class. Right. I walked out. It was just a car show, and that was awesome. But that day was like making tools, using tools, techniques of different chops, and all that kind of thing. And the ideas that Gene has of just making things, it's none of it's like, I don't want to say it's not thought out, but like how I overthink things, I'll sit back and I'll waste a lot of time overthinking things. I didn't make it in this video. I just told you guys that. So he doesn't do that. He just gets after it. You guys hear me talk about Dan from DD Speed Shop. He's the same way. He gets in there and just gets after it, and if he screws it up, he's like, no, fix it and keep going. That's how Gene is, and it's really, man, I wish I was more like that. And I try to be. I just get in my own head too much, and that's probably the thing I learned the most this weekend is not to do that, right? Something I do. This was awesome. He kept constantly. Gene was like, "Do you have any questions? Do you have any questions?" After every little thing, you got any questions? And so I asked a question about fixing the truck that I have. I bought that. Was it a 40? It's a 48 Ford, the old fire truck I bought. Somebody chopped it, and as I thought, I said, "Hey man, I think it's pretty tore up." So they're like, well, "What do you got?" And I actually showed them a picture, and here it is. And like, "Okay, cool, we got you. This is what's up." And check it out.
You were saying, when you had the cross in here.
Yep,
Why don't you want to do that?
because you're not gonna be able to get to the welds and be able to hammer and dolly,
So
and
you're,
everything's gonna wanna cave in.
you're going to have 2 welds going in here, 2 welds going in here, 2 welds going in here,
Yeah,
2
so
welds
you
going in here.
essentially, it would look, if you did it that way, it would look like this. Piece in there and a piece in here.
So there's 2 separate filler pieces.
Yeah, so these are a filler piece here and a filler piece here, but typically that roof's gonna wanna do this.
And now, if you want to go and hammer that and straighten that, now you're going to have really long arms to go get in there.
Well, you could probably reach from the front and back, but it's,
Yeah, but the bigger the cab, the bigger area you have, the point is you want to put your welds out towards the end if you can.
Yeah,
You
towards-
really spin that.
towards the edge, so you can get to everything. Like that.
Remember from my class again?
But like a 40 board, the front windshield, looking down, this is the front windshield. The front will pretty much line up. It's just the 2 back corners that you end up having to have obviously, you can do it like this. You'd have a space here and then over here. Maybe a little piece like that.
All right, any questions?
So you see, they actually kind of took what and we did this a few times in the class, man. Like we ask different questions and we talk about it. And I mean, he showed me that first off, the truck isn't nearly as bad off as I thought it was. Having that second cab was key. He kept telling me that having the second cab, that's awesome. And it's not far off, guys. We're gonna fix it, and I'll tell you. Yeah, I got some stuff going on back here, and that's another thing I learned. We'll talk about that in a minute, but I've learned that that's the kind of stuff I want to work on, and let's get in here and work on it. And I'm super stoked to do that. I'll tell you what, but we're also we made some promises at the beginning of the year, so we're going to knock this stuff out, and then we're going to get into that kind of thing because I'm in a big can't wait to fix that chop, to get some work done on the roof of my 53 that was kind of messed up and things like that. So now that I have a better understanding of how metal works, like shrinking metal and stretching metal and all the things that really need to happen, yeah, I mean, guys, I learned, and I'm not good, don't take it the wrong way, but I learned from Gene Winfield how to do lead. It's amazing to me. Now, obviously, I have a ton of practice to do to even get decent, right? Halfway decent, whatever. But it was awesome. I mean, for real, right? He showed us how to French headlights, which was a lot easier than I thought. I was overthinking it. Imagine that, right? And one thing he said over and over and over again was just do what you got to do. And that's something I have a hard time with, maybe because of the aircraft background. You know, I can't go to work and, you know, when I was in the Navy or now, especially the contractor, work on an F-18 or an F-35 or whatever and be like, oh, this doesn't work. I'll just do what I want to do to make it work. I mean, there might have been times I did that in the military, but yeah, you can't do it, right? So there's really no creative way. Yeah, it's just not allowed. But when it comes to customizing cars and this and that, as long as you're like safe-ish, you know, why not? That's what it's all about. Creativity. It's all about that, you know. That's something we said to Gene. We asked him, you know, what keeps you going, and he said it's not just the fact he loves working with metal, but it's not just that. It's also that he loves to take things and make them better, make them nicer, prettier to look at, you know, all that kind of stuff. And that's what keeps him going, keeps him inspired. And I mean, that's hot rodding altogether. That's all different, you know, like that's custom cars, that's racing, that's everything. It's making it better, whether it look better, run better, whatever it might be. That's what it's there for. And that's probably the things I took away the most. He said it probably a million times. After every lesson, there'd be some questions, and he would say, well, I'd try this, I'd do this, I'd do this. And then finish it with, do what you got to do, you know? Don't be afraid to get out there and screw it up. If you do, just fix it. You know, if you can't fix it, toss whatever metal you work with, whatever, to the side and fix it. Now, granted, that can get a little expensive, but don't be afraid to mess it up. And that's something I have a problem with, guys. I'm always worried I'm going to mess it up. And again, that probably goes back to the aviation side of things. But funny, I wasn't worried then. Maybe I was younger. I don't know. But guys, I can't tell you enough. I want to say a huge thank you to Gene Winfield and everybody that was involved there. You know, we brought home little souvenirs of, you know, I wasn't making anything. I was just learning how to use the pull max, use some planishing hammers. I actually put a little. Gene Winfield showed me how to use an English wheel to start to put this curve in it, and then, you know, tool it. Hey, nice, right? A little souvenir and something I'll never forget. It's kind of something else I'm thinking about. He showed us this, and my buddy Spencer went across the street and grabbed it. He had a railroad spike. He put this thing in the vise and worked metal around it. Simplest free tool, right? And after that, Spencer, he ran across the street and brought it back for a couple of us and said, hey, man, look, I could not go get one. So, Spencer, appreciate it, buddy. That was really cool. And look forward to trying to make that work. I mean, we know the concept, so now I just got to put it into play. So, guys, if you have the opportunity of taking this class, I mean, I flew cross country and all that, and I can't thank Megan and Andrew enough for that too. But take the class. I met the most amazing people, and I learned more than I could ever tell you in any video. So, hope you guys like what you saw. Hopefully, some people are inspired. I know I am. But yeah, man. Till next time. Like, share, subscribe, ring the bell, tell a friend, and as always, thanks for watching, guys.